Welcome to another edition of Croco's Corner. I am here. My name is Croco. Um, I'm all alone. Nobody's with me. It's lonely. Yeah. Thank you guys. First of all, let me just kind of backtrack for a second. I want to thank you guys so much. If you are listening to this, if you listen to any previous shows, we went through a crazy Corona. You know how Lil Durk says, I'm going Kanye crazy. I went a little Corona crazy. So I want to thank anybody out there that, has kind of stuck through. If you haven't and you are a new listener, thank you so much for just coming and listening to this edition of Croco's Corner and any of the other ones that you maybe have stumbled upon. We are on SoundCloud. We are on Spotify. We are on Apple Podcasts. We are on YouTube and hopefully more as this year goes on. Yeah, I'm sorry for 2020, guys. I'm just gonna come out and just say it like that. Yeah, 2020 sucked. A lot of things happened. A lot of changes kind of happened. I was able to get some recordings in, which I'm gonna be sharing with you guys throughout the rest of this little time, going forward. But I am extremely, extremely, extremely excited to start this year off strong. I'm not gonna make any excuses. I just want to dive into things. And I'm just going to give you guys as much content as possible. So, yes, you will get some of those recordings that we did in 2020. And going forward, it is just looking like it's going to end up being me a majority of the time doing these shows with you. Um, Co-host Derek, shout out to Derek D if you listening. Hey. He has started to transition into him being in a different location than the one that I actually currently am in. Everybody give Derek a nice little round of applause if you can. He's moving on to some really great things for himself, but he won't be with me as much. We will try to figure that out throughout the year. And our boy Roberto, if you listening, he is going to probably still hop in here and there with me for shows, but for the most part, I'm going to try to make this more consistent than it has been in the past. That is what my goal is for 2021 for you guys in this podcast. So, I'm not going to do really long shows. It's not going to be 2-3 hours or anything like that. It's not even really going to be an hour. Maybe I'll throw some stuff in there, but I don't even really want it to be an hour. I want it to be relatively short stuff that I just give you just quick reviews on things that's happening in anime, in comics, and comic culture, and as well as that, just pop culture in general. So, with that said, again, thank you for listening to another edition of Croco's Corner. I hope you guys like that intro. I'm going to try to kind of do that like that a little bit more, but we're going to get right into it, okay? Hearing that song, that lovely song play earlier, which I'll link you guys with. But hearing that earlier, it made me want to just say, you know what? It made me feel pretty good. Why don't we just dive into Attack on Titan? Yeah. We are in the final season of Attack on Titan. Believe it or not, I got Derek, who does not really like anime, to actually start. Well, I didn't get him. Let me not take credit for what I didn't do. But he did himself actually start to watch Attack on Titan. He says it's one of the greatest shows that he's ever seen, at least in the way that it started so far. So anybody out there that hasn't seen it, the case that I'll make for you as to why it is something that you should watch is it is like an HBO series to me. For anybody out there that's watched Game of Thrones, that feeling that you had when you saw Arya, you know, spoiler alert, I guess, if you haven't seen Game of Thrones, it's kind of weird, but when you saw Arya at the end of Game of Thrones, that feeling that you had when you remembered in season 1 when you saw her and her father, and it was just this young, innocent, little girl who you really didn't know what direction she was going to go into, and then for her to do what she did at the end. Look, I avoided the spoilers. Look at me. I'm a nice guy. But yeah, that is what you can get with the characters in Attack on Titan. It does give me a familiar feeling, and when I think about like Hunter x Hunter or Fullmetal Alchemist or Monster or My Hero Academia, Cowboy Bebop, shows like that, it does give me a very similar feeling in the sense of like how it has a climb. So just like those HBO shows, and again, not even just Game of Thrones. If you're a fan of Sopranos, if you love just seeing the character progression of the children in that, like that's something that you can kind of get that same feeling with this. So that's really, really awesome. As well as that, like even with The Wire, with D'Angelo or one of the many characters in there. But the biggest point that I want to make here is that climb that you get, that sense of I'm traveling with them through this series, at a really intense level, because a lot of shows do that, but the shows that I named um, previously, those are all shows where you really get like that intenseness of it, and you probably know exactly what I'm talking about if anybody's listening out there. That's what you get with Attack on Titan. It's this climb, but you feel like you're there every step of the way, almost like a fly on the wall, or almost like you're actually there with them. Um, so it's super, super dope. I really do believe that it's something that, you should dive into if you just need a new show to watch. Even if you don't watch anime, seriously, even if you don't watch anime, or if you want to, if you're just somebody who's listening to this because you probably do watch anime, um, even if you want to just have something to suggest to somebody who doesn't watch anime, dude, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. Like, it's that good of a show, and you know it as much as I do. But anyways, just to kind of get into season 4, yeah, we had some interesting stuff happen. So right now, I'm gonna double check because I don't want to misspeak. But I think we're on like episode 12. We might be further than that, just so you know what day it is too. Let me see, season 4. Okay, I misspoke. No, I didn't. Yeah, we are on now what is going to be episode 11. Yeah, we're gonna be on episode 11. I don't know how many more episodes there are going to be. I feel like it is not that many. It's definitely under 16. Yeah, it's definitely under 16. But we're gonna be going into episode 11 this week. And just a quick review for the whole thing, because I haven't been here to kind of talk to you guys about that. Yeah, it's a crazy start, right? For a season, just to have it begin that way. You get an opportunity to start in the Marleyan land, and spoiler alert, spoiler alert. Let me just stop myself right now. We're stopping. We're stopping. I'm not going to go any further without saying that spoiler alert, because I literally just told people to watch it. You maybe didn't watch it, and then here I am about to spoil the final season for you. Spoiler alert. My fault. Going on. I warned you. You can't tell me I didn't warn you. But anyways, going on. Yeah, we start the season off in the Marleyan land, and it's kind of cool. We get to see a different side of the people that's involved in this skirmish. We get to see the opposite side, the attacking side, the more aggressive side, um, in comparison to the Eldians that we've seen in the past and who we've grown accustomed to seeing. And it was I love that they did that. It is great to be able to get that. And then with that, we kind of get into Eren. Eren is there. Eren is there. What? Why is Eren there? I'm a manga reader, so I understood the progression a little bit better. The anime has to rush certain things, so they can't really go into these things as much as the manga did. But or manga. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. But yeah, Eren's here, and he's here on his own volition. He's doing what he wants to do. He knows I'm trying to get shit to change. I know that I'm not going to be sticking around for this stuff to be like this. So yeah, we're getting this done. We're getting things advanced. He had to send letters out back to the Eldian, back to the people who we've been accustomed to seeing. He's had to send these letters out to tell them what he did and why he's there. And hey, you got to hurry up and get me, because if not, I'm going to be a casualty. And if I'm a casualty, it really puts them in an advantage. And we kind of work from there. And, just when we go through that, we see finally the Eldians have to experience what we had to experience with Eren and Mikasa and everyone else during the first season, this horrible, horrible attack. Now we get to see the Eldians have a little bit of a taste of their own medicine, right? And I don't know. It was the way that it's built up. It makes you feel like, what's a good way of explaining this? It makes you feel kind of bad, but like, I don't know. It's weird. It conflicts you, because it's like, do I feel bad for these people or do I not? So it was really, really conflicting, at least for me when I read it, I wasn't. I was like, ha, that's what you get. Sorry, but that's just how I felt in that moment. No, that's not necessarily the nicest way of looking at it, but that's how I felt. But then watching the anime and the way that they've done it, kudos to them. But I did kind of feel a little bit more of that sadness for the Marleyan side. I'm like, whoa, whoa, like this is actually kind of messed up. And Aaron does not even care. Like he doesn't remotely care, So that was like, whoa. But as soon as everything, as if you've seen the episodes now, you know what I'm getting ready to say. As soon as everything looks like it's in the clear and it was a successful mission for the Eldians, we actually have one of anime's favorite and most beloved characters, Sasha. She is actually killed. She's killed by one of my favorite characters. Wow, I can't remember her name, and it's kind of upsetting me. I don't want to look it up. I'm sorry, guys. Don't judge me. I know she's my favorite character, and I should know her name. But if you know me, you know I'm terrible with names. I'm looking it up. Sorry. I know. I should be better. I should be on this. I should have things like down to a T. But guess what? I forgot her name. I know we have Gabby. Yeah, so Gabby and Falco. Basically, what happens is Gabby and Falco actually escape onto the airship that the Eldians were trying to get the blank out of there on. And in the process of that, Gabby, she ends up shooting Sasha. So let's just do a little quick rest in peace for our girl Sasha, our food-loving, sweet, sweet, sweet Sasha, right? But yeah, she is up out of here. She is gone. Finito. Bang, bang. Gone. Yeah, that one, it sucked. I hated that they did this when I read it in the manga, but I think it was something where it was allowing for us to see a little bit more of the emotion. So I understand that it was something that maybe needed to happen just for the progression of the story, specifically the story of each character and who they are, their identities. Plus the new characters like Gabby and Falco who we're introduced to, we get more of a feel of how they feel. It even grows them, despite them being very new characters, it even grows them in having that moment. So it was understandable. Now, what I will say before I talk about episode 10, because I do want to dive into that very quickly. It was very nerve-wracking for me before this season came out to try and figure out, hey, I know as a manga reader, that there is so much stuff that still needs to be tackled, and I don't know if they're gonna be able to do it in one season. And then when I see that there's like not gonna be a lot of episodes, I was like, oh, okay, maybe what they'll do is they'll just have this start at the end of 2020. They'll have it run until well into the summer, and it'll just be every week, and that's enough episodes. And okay, I'll feel good about that. But then I saw that it wasn't gonna be that long. Like, we're gonna be done. Attack on Titan is probably gonna be completely finished as a manga, as a anime by April. And I'm just like, whoa, how are they gonna get all of this done? How are they gonna get all of this animated and tell all of this wonderful story? And it just really, really had me nervous. And fast forward, we get to episode 10, the last episode that came out, and they did a really good, like, they didn't, it's like, if you read the manga, it's still kind of like these moments where you're like, I don't know. And even at that, if you're a manga reader, you're still looking at that and you're like, okay, but there's still a lot more to cover. Like, how much of it is gonna get cut? Do they continue the same format that they did in episode 10? But overall, again, just to go before I get too ahead of myself, overall, the direction that they went into with episode 10 and how they spliced things up, how it was kind of like, okay, some instances we're going to go back in the past, and some instances we're going to be in the right now. And, we're going to be able to tie these moments and the emotions, like just being able to draw out all of that out in episode 10 by using the different things that they were confronting and the different things that they were going through, and not be able to lose the emotion. Introduce us again to more new characters in episode, I don't know whether it was 8 or 9 or whatever, but to introduce us to these new characters who are a part of Zeke's whole little faction, and then to have them, you really feel like you starting to understand how they feel, how they think. Now, again, it's a lot more detail in the manga. Anybody who reads it knows what I mean when I say that, but the buildup is, it still feels like it's there. It still feels like it's right there for you, to get and to understand and to have those same emotions that you maybe have if you were a manga reader, or if you weren't a manga reader, you know that you still getting some of those same emotions that build up, that sense of intensity, that, oh wow, like, wow, dude, Aaron is really kind of going nuts when he's talking to Hange, or oh wow, Levi is having this really, really tense, you could cut it with a knife situation in a box cart or whatever with Zeke. And you can get an idea of like how Zeke's faction actually got their way into this Eldian idea of trust, or advancement, how they were able to do this. They masterfully went through that through episode 10. So yeah, they cut a lot down by doing that, but it could have been a lot worse, and that's what I was worried about. If anybody here is a fan of Promise Neverland, you could see where that worry is, it can become realistic. I was not a reader of the manga or manga for Promise Neverland, but like, I'm hearing about what's going on in this season, and they're like, oh, they ruined it. It was they skipped over like one of the best arcs in the entire manga. And I'm going to stop doing the manga thing. You know my heart, and I already justified it enough. But they stopped, like, they literally stopped right before it. And then it was this like wonderful, masterful arc that there was in the manga, and it completely got skipped over. And it's like they literally, from what people are saying that I'm seeing on Twitter and different places on the internet, they're saying that they're ending the series basically on this note. They're moving more as though they're trying to end it, and so in the best parts were now cut out. That's what I had concerns about with Attack on Titan. I was really, really worried that it was going to be the same thing. There was going to be this thing where such a vital or important or meaningful part in the story was going to just get left out. We were not going to hear it. We were not going to see it. We were not going to have that build up. We were not going to have that emotion. But we don't get that with Attack on Titan, really. Like, yeah, there's things cut out. There's things that you can tell even from watching the episode. Okay, yeah, we could have got some more insight on. We could have got some more meat and gravy from it. But it's okay that we didn't, because you still nailed it on the sense of urgency, the sense of tension, the sense of the characters' developments, where everybody is kind of at right now. They did a really good job of tackling that. Even Historia, with Historia, we are in this flashback with her, Aaron, and Mikasa, and we get like this happier moment with Aaron where it's like we see him smile, we see him still have that joy, and we see Mikasa and her, I'm kind of getting out of my quiet shell, and I'm getting my identity together a little bit here, but I'm still by Aaron's side because that's my ace and that's my partner in crime. But I'm also like this shy girl who's still kind of coming out of herself. But like, yeah, you still remember me from season 3. Yeah, you still remember me from season 2. So you know that this makes sense that I'm like this. Where that, it doesn't necessarily change with her as we get into like this deeper material. But the story just moves in a certain way where we lose a lot of that, of seeing that. We, even in the manga, like, even though they go through these parts, so we're getting in-depth background, we're getting more of a build-up for her character, it can kind of be quiet because it's overshadowed by like everything that's going on. But to still be able to just show her in that light, and then if you go to something else, if you go to another moment, like when everybody is sitting down and talking, and they're trying to like kind of figure out where Aaron's head is, and you see her being more talkative but also having moments of quietness and sadness. Like, that is so much of an overwhelming theme for what's going to be the covering of this last season, that it's a lot that could have got missed there, is essentially what I'm trying to say. And it doesn't feel like it was. And with Historia, like the idea of Historia, we get to see her in this more bubblier side. Then we see Aaron's reaction at a meeting, how that has an effect on her, and then how much of this idea of duty starts to play, not just duty to the Eldian people as their queen, but this duty to her friends, this duty to Eren. Like, you're able to get that in that one moment if you're really paying attention, if you're really trying to feel it. And it's just really, really solid to me that it didn't necessarily there's things missing again, but it didn't feel as though as much was missing as it necessarily was. And it makes me excited for episode 11. It makes me feel like, okay, yeah, this is even if they were to just continue off of that for this episode, I don't know how many episodes are left, so I don't know if that's something that's even possible. And see, that's where I say you still kind of do get a little bit of that worry, because it's like, whoa, no, we could probably use another episode like that. Like, keep that going for 2 episodes if you're a manga reader and you know everything that happened like I do. You're like, yeah, you could probably keep that going for another episode. Let's just keep it on that pace. And then boom, we get to, I'm not going to spoil it for anybody that's an anime watcher here, but we get to this next part that's just so much is going on. So it's like the climax, and I just don't know if that's something that is going to be able to happen or not. I don't know if that's like the plan. I do hope that it's the plan. I feel a lot more confident if that is the plan. But again, I don't know. I just don't know. So, we'll just have to see on that note. But really, really excited for it. Really excited to see how this ends. The manga hasn't even ended yet. It's probably not going to end until April. I'm assuming the show is trying to line up so that way they both end at the same time. But if it is going to beat it, I'm getting into a territory, not right now, but what looks like in a couple of episodes, I'll be getting into the same territory that any anime watcher is in, and everybody else who is a manga reader will be in that same territory as well. Where I don't know what's going to come next. That could very well happen, but I don't know. I still feel like the manga is going to wrap up in the next couple of weeks. It's definitely, I just don't feel like it's going to beat the anime, but who knows? It might. But yeah, all right. That is episode 10 of Attack on Titan. That is my roundup. Very quick. Like I said, I'm keeping it real short, and sweet. Real short and sweet. It's just me. I don't want to bore you guys out with me talking for an extended, super, super long time. We're getting just around 30 minutes. That is more than enough. I'll probably throw some more content on here after this. And I do also just want to say that, even though I am doing this show alone, we're going to still continue to shout out the people that we can. Our co-host, I should say not guest host, but our co-host, Rob, he actually sent me a wonderful song by his. Dude is getting seriously, seriously good with it. He's just progressing. His thing is music, and you can see it and hear it as he goes on. I'm very, very proud of him for what he has done. So he sent me some music for me to put on here for you guys, so that way you can listen to what he has going. So after this, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have his song play after this. Sage, he is going to kill me if I get I don't even want to get it wrong, guys. I'm about to go on the social medias and make sure that I am saying and spelling this right. I knew that I was going to get it right, Rob. Don't worry. I was going to say Sage the Samurai. I knew that was it. But yes, it is Sage the Samurai. You can follow him on Instagram, Twitter, different places like that. It is spelled SAIGTHESAMURAI. I would link what this song is, but I will be honest with you, I don't know if I know the correct name for it. So I'm going to hold off from telling you guys the name. If I can link it in the comments or, in the descriptions or whatever, I will make sure that I do that for you guys. But again, SAIGTHESAMURAI. Go follow him. Go listen to him on SoundCloud. Go listen to him on here. Just kind of reach out, show some love to him, because he really has been killing it. He's been grinding super, super hard in this. So, thank you for that, guys. And with that being said, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you for listening to another edition of Croco's Corner.
mind and body dilapidated, it make no difference. Leave me stressed, can't finish the sentence. Afraid to face my demons, can't fight the truth, can't find my premise. I'm like a drug to you, and you can come back even when I'm through with you. The chain is loose, there's a part of me that wants you back.